Why did I bring this orange out here? I don't know. I'll eat it later, right? How are you doing? A snapback. Yeah, not from the orange. I wanted to talk about a snapback. It's good news for basically everybody. People by themselves actually can discern things. At least a lot of people can. Collectively, of course, there's this herd mentality, and then people become incredibly stupid, and there are sheep and wolves, and then sheep herders, and then there's the butcher, and there's like several different classes of people. I'm definitely not somebody that follows anybody. Anybody with two brain cells, though, and I'm 100% certain about this, is not listening to the media. If you actually have a really sharp mind, you can listen to what these people say and determine their agenda. It's kind of like a detective. They'll listen to a criminal who's always lying. And you know they're always lying. You could read their body languages and where they look and how they tap their hands, and you could just see. And you're not really listening to the detective, for example, not listening to what they say, but what they don't say. Avoid discussing. So I don't think anybody with two brain cells, there's a lot of people out there that don't have two brain cells. But the majority of us do, and we're not listening to the media anymore. I kind of saw something atrocious a few days ago. He's a press agent for, it's called Africa Today News. His name is Simon Atiba. And the press secretary was up there promoting a TV show, which is completely ridiculous and just a total and rancid waste of taxpayer money. Of course, they do that. That's their full-time job, is actually wasting taxpayer money. And this guy complained, it's like, you never call on me. I've complained for months that you never call on me. They're just treating this poor guy bad. And instead of sticking up for him, his fellow press agents are totally, in line with, the White House. We're attacking this poor press guy, who only wants his questions answered, and he never gets called on. I felt really bad for him. As one of the most nasty and horrible. You could just see the way the world's going now. It's kind of like a judge, a district court judge, showed up at, was it Princeton Law School, and he got shouted down, and some teacher came down to wag her finger at him, and all these students stormed out. You want to talk about the decline of society and the increase in human stupidity. These people that have the attention spans of a gnat or a mosquito. If your position was sound and logical, you would listen to it and you would be able to debate it. But people don't. What they do is they shout you down. This has been going on for a long time, but now it's actually reached critical mass. There's an old Chinese saying that there's three things you can only hide for so long, but no longer. The sun, the moon, and the truth. What we're experiencing right now is a snapback. And people are not buying or believing any of the stuff that's being put out there. I'll let you take a pick, by the way. The education system is hideously corrupt and evil. Property taxes go to supporting that defunct entity. The propaganda that's actually put out by endless entities, whether it be the media or whether it be the folks in D.C. or whatever country it is. I had a lot of people after what happened recently in Holland or the Netherlands, just basically screaming at the top of their lungs. They're so frustrated and angry that the stuff that I see coming out of Australia is absolutely mind-boggling, and people have just become numb to it. And they say really dumb things, which they are dumb. It's like, well, what am I going to do about it? What do you expect me to do? It's like, oh, well, that's just normal these days. People have just turned into spineless jellyfish. If you want to know what I'm like in person, I'm incredibly kind in person, but there was a door greeter at Costco yesterday. Yeah, I know Costco's an evil place. And you got to check your card. You got to show your card when you enter, which is really stupid because you have to use it to get out and to check out. And some lady, everybody's trying to get in there, and the door greeter said, "Oh, I'm going to call security on you." I let it rip. I won't even tell you half the things I said to that guy. I called him a fascist. I told him to shut the bleep up. I called him a... Oh, man, people really loved me for that one. At the end of Costco, where I was picking up a hot bird for my dad, That lady came up to me. She was the one that the guy was yelling at, saying, I'm going to call security, which is ridiculous. What sort of little power monger, idiocy are you trying to engage in, the little door guy? She said, oh, thank you so much for sticking up to me. I can't believe he said that at me. That's who I am, by the way, in public. I see a lot of people that, and I can't stand it. I find it extremely disgusting. Like there'll be 100 people sitting on a subway car and they'll watch like some old man getting throttled over the head by, some, evil person who's like, that's none of my business. I'm not going to get involved. To me, I find that almost as reprehensible as like the thug that's, doing those horrible things to that old guy that happened recently. Anyway, we're experiencing a snapback. It's starting to happen. And it's a good thing. People have found out they've been lied to in every way possible. There's been so much propaganda, so much censorship, and scrubbing of the truth. Once again, you can only hide the sun, the moon, and the truth for so long. You could do it for a while, but you cannot keep it up. This is called Baudelarization, too, by the way. The censorship and the scrubbing of the truth, the education system, which is completely off the rails. It makes me ill to hear about the education system. And of course, growing up was bad enough for me. Now I see how horribly, horribly bad it is. It's even way worse than in my time growing up. Right now, people are at their limits as far as taxation. Inflation combined with taxation. People have reached their limit. The tactic is, of course, now to herd people, to a particular point. For ultimate control, but history shows that this never works out, and it won't this time either. However, these people, in the evil of their creativity, evil can be creative, of course, and it is, they think they have both the power and the skills and certain little inventions and things that they could do to people, with people, so on and so forth, that they can achieve their goals of ultimate control, but it won't work this time. I myself have spent much of my life, against this hydra head, and it's like a 6, you could say 7, a 6-headed hydra. One is institutionalized propaganda and lies. The evil of the education system, which is just absolutely off the hooks. I'm sorry if you're a teacher, but I know there's a few good teachers out there, but 99% of them are no good. I have no respect for teachers, because they don't actually give people the skills. They oppress people. The education system is beyond horrible, especially here in the United States. The IRS, the Fed, we could put the IRS and the Fed there together. So you have government or state-sanctioned propaganda, the education system. And I lived in Russia. I know about propaganda. I see more propaganda and lies now here in the United States than I did living in Soviet Russia. And yes, I did live in Soviet Russia and post-Soviet Russia. So yes, I've lived in Soviet Russia, supposedly the height of propaganda. There's more of it now here than when I was in Soviet Russia. So state-sanctioned propaganda, the education system, the IRS, and the Fed, and I know the Fed is not federal. So-called health care is the worst. And it's kind of brilliant. They not only provide the disease, but the so-called cure. It's like, first we're going to make you sick, then we're going to provide the cure, which is not, really a cure, and it's going to keep you sick, and it's going to keep you, chained to us forever. It's kind of like the old coal mine thing where they'd actually give you specific money and coins that you could only spend at the company store. So you'd work your butt off to the point of death. They'd pay you in money that's no good outside of the coal mine system. You had to spend it at they kept you in permanent slavery. The fifth head of the hydra is food and water, and the 6th is the banking system. By the way, banks don't lend money. They actually lend debt and slavery. They don't lend money. They lend servitude. This is what banks live off of. It's the reason why they actually give out credit cards to young people at college campuses. You just grab a piece off the wall there in your college, and man, you're going to hook you up with a credit card, and you will be, a permanent feeder of name the credit card. So people have been complaining now for the past year and a half, 2 years. It's like, oh my God, part of my life was ruined. I've been in lockdown, 2021 and 2022. You know, I watched reruns of old TV shows, and people will talk about all the horrible things. Them. My question to these people, and I find it infuriating, and it makes me want to spit blood because it infuriates me so much. Why are you listening to that? I was not out more in my life than during those 2 years. I heard all the people telling me to lock down, don't go in there. I did just the opposite. If these people, which I know are evil, corrupt, and liars, and spreaders of filth, are telling me to do this, then the answer, the correct answer, is to do that. I know if the medical system is telling me to do this, I know this is really the answer. You can't make any money off of vitamins and living a clean life, and you know, there's no money in that. It's like, no, you keep on living your unhealthy life, eating that horrible food made out of cancer-causing chemicals. We'll give you some pills, and you know, you come and we'll pay the doctor, we'll bill your insurance, and you know, we get your insurance money deducted from your paycheck, and then you come and visit us, and then we'll give you some pills that keep you sick, but not so sick that you can't work, but to the point where you don't live that long and your life is miserable. Why are people listening to the people like, and I know the answer to that, it's actually a rhetorical question. While everybody was locked down and complaining about being locked down, I was more out than anybody else. I was giving a digit finger, I'll let you guess which finger it was, to the entire world and their stupidity about being oppressed and not going anywhere, not doing anything. And I know some people had no other choice, like you have to, you know, get, you know, that thing in the arm, you know, to work your job. People were coerced. I know people, of course, military, doctors, nurses, there's a lot of people that underwent that coercion, and there's a lot that, I'll let you finish that sentence. You know what the end of that sentence is. My point is don't capitulate. Don't roll over. You know, you're a sovereign citizen. Hopefully you're a sovereign citizen and not a subject. Why are you, not meaning you specifically, but why are these people, and I know the answer too, it's rhetorical, capitulating to this evil and tyranny? Why? I knew when these people told me to lock down, of course, thankfully, I know a lot about getting land. Yeah, I sold everything not glued down, and I did. I sold everything not glued down that I didn't absolutely have to have. Like, I'm going to be out and about. I'm going to look for land. I'm really, really good at looking for land. Yeah, bought land. Sold the other half of my stuff, bought some more land. I'm going to be out there when everybody else is in this stupid city, you know, doing this garbage, you know, and that garbage. And to Hades with that. A wise person, an attribute of a wise person, you can actually get advice, and nobody talks about this, wise advice, if you have wisdom, from evil and corrupt people. What you do is you listen to them and nod your head, not that you're agreeing with them, and you do just the opposite, which is what I did. And you know what? It worked out swimmingly for me. That's not funny. I wish people would recognize the hydra head that keeps them put down, shut up, do your thing, don't think about anything, don't question authority. The hydra head of state-sanctioned propaganda, the education system, which is pure evil, IRS and Fed, which is not federal, the healthcare system, which is not about your health, rather it's about selling stuff in little pill form. That's what it's about. Food and water and the banking system, which is there not to, you know, protect your money, but to get you to be an indentured slave. It's no different than the coal companies. Coal companies would pay you money to mine coal, but you end up having to give it right back to them, and it was not really money. Like, we'll give you a mortgage, give you a 30-year mortgage on your house. Sure we will. You'll be our slave for the next 30 years. You want a credit card? It's wonderful. You know, high interest rate credit card that you'll never pay off. You like make minimum payments until you're dead. By the way, credit cards are unsecured debt. Look up what unsecured debt is. I don't think most people know what unsecured debt is. This is not a rant video, but it kind of is. I'm just so disgusted by how many jellyfish there are out there. People that are capitulate, roll over. You know, what's that saying? It says, show me your belly. Like one guy was under danger and he asked his buddy, he said, should I show them my belly? He's just so eager to roll over. That mentality, it disgusts me. People might be disgusted by the fact that I'm brutally honest or bald head or tattoos or that I'm fat. But at least I have a spine, and at least I don't capitulate to evil and tyranny, lies, propaganda, filth, trash, people trying to keep me sick. You know, hey, go ahead and take this pill. It's only got 100 side effects. You'll be okay. What's wrong? Doctors recommend it. You remember back, I used to watch these old-time radio shows, and they'd have a commercial that, you know, they're kind of funny. 9 out of 10 doctors recommend Lucky Strikes. It'd say, what do they say? To hit your T-zone. Yes, Lucky Strike. They hit your T-zone. 4 out of 5 doctors recommend Lucky Strikes. He knows best. He's a doctor. Oh, God. Never surrender yourself to anybody. Don't capitulate. Don't roll over. Don't believe people. Everybody's got an angle and an agenda, except for your family. And even then, your family quite often does, depending on how good your family is or is not. And the one thing they do want to do is break up your family, my family, everybody's family, because when you break up the family, the nuclear family, that means that, well, you know, you don't belong to your parents. Like, yeah, you do. That kid belongs to their parents. No, you're a child of the state. You're ours now. That's true. That's not funny. I mean, I kind of made a funny comment on that, but I mean, it's extremely true. The banking system is collapsing. They are trying to herd everybody. It's like, don't look over there, look over here. It's like, oh God, something horrible's over here, so I'm going to move this way. They're trying to herd everybody. They're trying to get everybody to capitulate. It's like there are several things, like herding cows. You know, you got one guy over here making a noise. Well, we need the cows to go this way. Moo! Oh, look, the banking system's collapsing. Take your money out of the bank. You know, do a run. Moo! And they take the bank out like, oh no, there have been all these bank runs and we need to like stabilize the economy and the banking system. What we're going to do to fix it is we're going to implement CBDC, Central Bank Digital Currency. Well, that'll fix everything. We're here to help you. We want to stabilize the banking system. It's collapsing, and without our help, because we're the government, we're going to fix it for you. It'll be stable because we're in control. I can think of almost nothing more evil and demonic than CBDC. It is so hardcore evil and off-the-scale evil, it is just unfathomable. I hope I didn't rant for too long. I apologize, but at least I was brutally honest in this video. And being brutally honest and truthful with some wisdom is a whole lot more than you'll get out of most people. A whole lot!